The Surviving Generations of the Holocaust, based in Seattle, Washington, has taken on the project of videotaping eyewitness accounts of the Holocaust from those individuals who survived the Nazi reign of terror. Millions of people were annihilated just because they were Jewish. The goals of this project are, first, to educate the current and future generations about the Holocaust, with the hope that those who learn what happened will not allow it to happen again, never again to any group of people. Second, to refute false allegations by neo-Nazis and revisionist historians that the Holocaust never occurred. And third, to refute the commonly held notion that the Jewish people offered little, if any, resistance to the Nazis. The voices of the dead are silent. The voices of the survivors must live on forever. My name is Lynn Chapman, and today I am interviewing Marian Zelman. Mr. Zelman, will you please tell me where you were born and in what year?
I was born in Łódź, Poland, 1919, August 1919.
And what name did you go by at that time?
I was born as Meyer Zelman. This was the Jewish name given by my birth.
Okay. What were your parents' names?
My father's name was Gabriel Zelman. My mommy's name was Blima Dobra, maiden name Dynaburska.
And can you tell me your brothers and sisters' names from the oldest to the youngest?
The firstborn was Balcha, Baile Scheindl, the Jewish name. The second one was the brother Moshe Leib, then Joshua, Yehoshua, then Jacob, Yaakov Pinchas, and I was the last son, the fifth child in the family, Meyer Zelman.
Can you tell me what you see on the monitor, Mr.
This
Zelman?
is the birth certificate in Polish, odpis skrócony aktu urodzenia, from my mother. Yes, Blima Dobra Dynaburska. This is my mommy's birth certificate, and this is her passport from I think it is 1916 or 1917. This is my grandma, Laia Borenstein, her maiden name. This is my mommy's mother. This is my oldest sister, Balcha, we call her in Polish, Balcha, and this is the Jacob, the oldest brother, the first brother to me, from me, the first one, Jacob. He's born in 1914. Excuse me, 1915. This is a picture of my mother. In the middle child is Balcha. From the right side is Moshe. From the left side is Yehoshua. And the little baby is Jacob. I was not born yet. This is 1917, 2 years before I was born.
What was your grandmother's name?
Grandmother's or grandfather?
Grandmother.
Grandmother.
And grandfather, if you remember.
Grandfather is Ephraim Fischl Dynaburski, carpenter, cabinet maker, high-class professional in his profession. And she was Laia, I think Laia Dvoira, something like this. Laia Dvoira Dynaburska, born Borenstein.
What kind of work did your father do?
My father was from profession a bookbinder, and we have had a store for bookkeeping needs and school needs material. I don't know how it is in English.
Office supplies?
Office supplies for bookkeeping, beside it. And in the time when this was for bookkeeping, the books were a very big one. This what we today have different machinery. This is everything for 100. We got a little factory by a wholesale store.
What was your life like at that time? Can you describe that for me? Your family life?
Family life. It was not bad. Daddy built a house not far from Łódź, in the village, Kali. It was a 10-apartment house, all brick. Children were educated with middle education, we call. Middle education is high school, Finnish high school. My sister have had in her 14 or 15th birthday a baby grand piano bought by the parents. And we got this what we need for our life as youngsters in this time.
What was the Jewish community like at that time?
Lodz have had a big Jewish community.
How many people would you say?
I believe it was 250,000, the Jewish population in the city of 750,000. This was called, we call the city Lodz as the small Polish Manchester, for fabrication of materials, for suits, for everything what the person need to clothing or linen, and everything was in Poland. We have in the city had at least 100 or more factories with big chimneys. It was a dark city.
How many synagogues were there, and did you go?
Yeah, we belong to we are Ashkenazi Jew. It means, I believe I have not to explain for the Jewish society Ashkenazi. It means European Jew from a long time ago. My father used to pray in the Wilkeshil. It means for people from Vilna or something like this, partial speaking Litvak. In the synagogue, this was for more intelligent people and a little bit not like the synagogue here where they pray without heads, but it was very progressive synagogue. We used to go sometimes with our parents, but usually we went with our daddy to the synagogue.
What type of schooling did you go to at that time?
We were in a Hebrew school. This was regular schools like the normal community schools, but it was additional Hebrew, and we learned Chumash and the Jewish law. Sister was in a special school for ladies, young ladies, Hochsteinova, a pro gymnasium.
Can you identify this picture for me?
This is my picture. We call it in Polish matrikula. This was a picture what I have used for school, lower fare to pay. It was like here, children go for cheapness. This picture is taken in front of the house what was not ready yet, but Daddy built for us. In the middle of the picture, in the middle is my mother. In the right hand is Balcha. In the left hand, Joshua. In the right hand over Balcha is Jacob. In between mommy and brother, it's myself. And the picture, I am 8 years old, probably.
Can you tell me one of the first incidents of anti-Semitism that you remember?
Yes. The first, I have given the paper, I forgot already, the little village, not far, a little city, not far from Lodz, was the riots. Suddenly the Endecja, this is the Christian Democrat, something like this, with the Polish Hitler party. It was not Hitler in this time, but was anti-Semitic, have destroyed the stands from people going to the market. But I forgot the name. You got the name properly, I've given over the phone.
Do you remember what year that was?
This was 1934, I guess, or 33, 34.
Do you know what month
35.
and date?
Date? No.
Do you remember seeing anyone mistreated or murdered around that time, in the beginning?
In the beginning, we have had pickets in Lodz of the Nowomiejska Straße street, in front of the Jewish stores, where students, quote-unquote students, hooligans, the police call this hooligans, but this was the youths with the signs like SS, one sign like SS. They have picketed these Jewish stores not to let in the population, what usually shop in these stores, went into for shopping. They didn't let them in shopping. They were destroyed some showcases in the front of the stores.
Do you remember seeing anyone killed around that time?
Excuse me?
Sorry.
The name of the little city is Przytyk, but I have not mentioned right now. The first pogrom is in Przytyk.
So these were the riots you were talking
This
about
was the
earlier.
riot, yeah. I say pogrom, this is a Russian name. But these riots came from Russia. There was the first anti-Semitic riots.
Do you remember seeing anyone killed in the earlier years?
I have seen bleeding people, but if they died, I was not there. But it was it were victims.
Why were they bleeding?
From them they were beaten up with some rings, iron rings of the hand, kastet we call it in Polish, or other pipes, empty pipes on spring, different kind of weapon what the people have had to fight.
Who were these people that were doing the beating up?
This was some people I don't know. This were not Jews. This were the Polish people, different denomination. We cannot tell that we have had in Poland Ukraine people. We got Russian people, leftovers from World War I were in Poland, and a lot of Germans. Our city have had this biggest population of Germans in Poland.
Do you know what the percentage was?
In our city, probably 33%. Scheibler and Grohmann, this was the biggest factory. Jahn, Scheibler, Grohmann, Jahn, and others. But I cannot remember everything.
Where were you when the Germans invaded Poland?
I was in. I brought the same day from the village where we have had our house. I brought back mother. Mother was in the village in Kali. This was 7-8 kilometers from Lodz, about 5 miles from the city. I brought her home the 1st of September, and I find out there's war. People was telling me it's already war, and across from us was the police station. We went out to the police station to say what's going on. It was empty, and little signs. People over 18, the age of 18, able to wear weapon, come to Warsaw, to the capital of Poland, to defend Poland. We were out, myself and my 3 brothers, all 4 of us went to defend Warsaw. I was in this time 19 years old, full 19 years. So I went over there, and before Warsaw was already start to bomb Warsaw, we have got no possibility to enter the city to fight, so we went back to Lodz. We came back to Lodz, was already Germans in, and started to round up people on the streets for work. The work was more beating than in taking away this what we have had on us. And later on, the Jewish committee, the Jewish have given lists, have taken to the Germans how many people they need, and they have sent to Jewish families what have been chosen by the register of the Jewish Society.
Marian, when did the rounding up begin?
The rounding up began right in the beginning of September 1939.
And the Germans invaded Poland in which month?
September the 1st.
Okay, so
and my
right
city
after
was
that.
not far from the border. Lodz is, therefore Lodz is was a German city. The surrounding from Lodz was a lot of Germans. And the Polish army who went out from Lodz to defend Warsaw was shot at from the citizens, what were German ancestors, German people.
What happened to you during some of the initial roundups? Where were you at that time?
I have been in Lodz, and I was caught a couple times, roundups. I worked once in the railroad depot, Dworzec Kaliski. My coat was gone. I was beaten up after the whole day work. I was beaten up also, and this was our life in this time. It was curfew after sundown. We couldn't be on the streets.
What about some other members of your family? Some of your
My
brothers?
brother, Joshua, found himself on the street. I do not remember exactly the month. Probably it was, this is Joshua. This is taken at his age of 17, 18 years old. High school, right after high school. He was caught on the street and taken to a concentration camp, what was a name by name just a house for hostages. There were priests, rabbis, different kind of people very well known. He was very nice dressed. He worked, he was a nice student, so on, and so he was in a nice coat and a nice suit. And he disappeared. We didn't know a few days what happened. I used to work a little bit part-time and so on, and we have had a German customer, Waldemar Thiel. And I told him what happened to my brother. So he said he cannot talk to me at all while I'm Jewish. With other people he would talk. So I find out another Pole would talk to them. He says for 150 Deutschmark, this is the official German value, he could be freed. But as long no German would be killed on the street or kidnapped or something else happened. This time was not kidnapped, but if somebody disappeared from the German population or from the German army, some hostages will be killed. And they didn't just talk. Nobody was from the German kills, but on Ballot Ring, this is the ballot, the place where the streetcars from city went out the city. In this place they put away a stall and hung four men. They were hanging a few days, so all the people that came to the city or left the city can see them with big signs. There's a Verbrecher, it means a crook. They have done this or this, something like this, just to scare the population, not to attack the Germans.
Mr. Zelman, can you tell me about any special rules that were imposed on the Jews at that time?
First of all, we were told, it was an order, not told, not to appear in the streets after dark. Second one, we have to wear David star on the right chest and in the back of the shoulder on the right side. The shoulder blade to the right side, also David star, a yellow one, a big one. For not wearing, we were persecuted, terrible persecuted. This was the first one. Jewish stores were loaded, taken off, broken,
looted.
And looted.
They were looted?
Looted, see. Yes, looted. And little by little, people were told quietly to leave the city to the north. But we should not mention the word ghetto. It was the beginning of the ghetto.
Who told you not to mention the word ghetto?
Not officially from the Jewish committee. They said, don't mention, well, it is not, we don't know, but we say the places in the north, people from the north have to leave the houses. They start to be empty houses. So we know we have to go there and live there. It was tragic. We were waked up nighttime suddenly. A few shots from a rifle, not from a revolver, from rifles, and a call, go down. We went down. That's it. You have to leave home. We went down, some in pajamas. I've shown you, I got a name what I have taken with me. I know I got a feeling, something in between the youths, between our people. We were talking a lot of this, what Germans are able to do. We were prepared, but what preparation? We didn't know when this will attack, when something will happen.
You mentioned the word ghetto. What does that word mean to you?
A ghetto is not this what American population call and have had here. This is not the New York ghetto. Our ghetto was a place surrounded with barbed wire, and every 50 meters outside were German gendarmes. We call them the cahoots, with tall heads. I think
Are they like
pictures,
policemen?
They're very police. The German gendarmes. This is a mixing police or army police, something like this. Military police, with in the entry of the ghetto was a big Bekanntmachung. It was an order that says, but no Betretung Feiertrade. It is solchen Gefahr. It means it is for health reason do not go in there. This is for damn place not to go. Not further, it's for your health. Don't go in. You cannot go in. Well, this was not like other ghettos, what I find out after the war. Our ghetto was closed. Outside police, inside was the Jewish ordnance police. It were not police, they were how we call this? People with inside guards, just guard, Jewish guard. In case if the outside the Germans need something, they call the guard, the Jewish guard. They got just a regular dress with a armband with the David Star. They call them to call up Jews to clean up or something like that, Jewish people. This was the straight contact between them. There were some people tried to leave, to escape from ghetto. They were shut in place while they were not. There was not a possibility to leave this place. And Lodz was a city without channels underground. There were not sewer canals where to go. It was not a possibility to escape from the ghetto while there was not a forest nearby. We were on the hand, on a clean field, no place where to escape or to hide.
Do you remember your original address?
Yes. I live in the ghetto Korbgasse 911. Korbgasse means Basket Street.
And this was the place you lived before you had to move north into the...
No, I live a short time on Mlynarska by friends. Well, they say, maybe it is not true, there will be a ghetto, just to scare us. But later on, when we have seen day by day and we find out one family what a big yarn store, just yarn, Joskovich, 10 person, were killed. It was very loud. People were talking, the whole family, Joskovich, very nice people, women, mostly women in the family, just 2 or 3 men were killed. So we find out it is true, and there's no any play, just escape as fast as we can. Ghetto, let's go to the ghetto, they will not kill everybody. Especially when we lived with these people from World War I till World War II. They were our neighbors, but we didn't know that this is the 5th column. Later on they find in the name these people the 5th column. They were a Polish citizen. They speak Polish. You didn't recognize if there's a Lutheran or a Christian or a Catholic, but Poland got mostly Catholics. And these people, the few days after the German get into the country, they got the army. They have had the today Volkswagen got a name before the war, DKW, Deutsche Kraftwagen. We have joked in Polish, dicta clay woda. It means plywood and water get together a little lime, and this was the car. And this was a car special for youths. In the front was a motorbike engine, a small, and there were people that studied the maps and going around the country. This were lovers for the scenery in the country. They have given the maps and everything when the German came in, and we were going back from Warsaw to Lodz. And we really were at this place. We didn't know what's going on. I was sick, problems, stomach problems, and so on. And the German asked me, where is Kutno? Name of a city, Kutno. I said, I think it has to be to the right. He take out a map and says, here is Kutno. You don't know? This is 10 miles away from here. He got a better map than I was going there. I was playing with friend in Kutno, and I didn't recognize by the war, and they got all maps, everything. Furthermore, Goebbels was hunting in the Polish forest.
Let's backtrack a little bit.
Yes.
Do you remember the date that you actually moved? Did you move with your family to the northern part?
Yes,
with
the family. This was a problem. 2 brothers, Jacob and Moshe, escaped to Russia.
And what year? When did they do that? What year?
Days before closing the ghetto. This would happen while I was once with Jacob caught in the street to work on the railroad, and it was a very nasty job. We were beaten up the hell. So Jacob came back and says, this was the first and the last time that I, as a Pole, was beaten by a German in my country. And they went to Warsaw. From Warsaw, Warsaw was closer to the Soviet Union. And from Warsaw, smugglers have taken them to Russia over the river Bug. While in Russia, the Russians have evacuated, they have got no trust to the people from the West. They call the Poles West. They evacuated Jacob to Siberia, Almaty. Moses was married just a week when the war started. He was dating a lady, but he worked together with her. So in case something goes wrong, let marry. They married in Warsaw, and she sent him to Russia. After 4 weeks, there was no any connection, no mail. He came back. So he was victimized. He was killed later in concentration camp, probably March 1945, when I was already free.
Who did you go to the northern part of Lodz with? Did you go with your parents?
I went with my daddy and my mommy. And we lived there on the Koshikova Straße.
What about your sister?
My sister with her husband lived on another street. I forgot, Mlinarska, I guess.
And what was the date again that you went to the northern part?
The northern part, I do not remember exactly. Probably November, December. It was already frozen water when we were taken down nighttime. And the janitor, he likes us very much. Well, we were speaking very well speaking Polish, not like some Jew got problem with the language. We are people, but people can talk to us and very, very friendly, so they start to help us. This is the way to smuggle out something from our apartment, a coat, something to cover up the bones. We were in the pajamas.
So you want to tell me a little bit more about that these people were helping you?
Just, they have helped me with a little, I don't know, I do not remember, it was a slide or just 2 pieces wood together, made together as a slide to put up a chair, honestly, a chair, a pillow, something else, to the first thing to go over there to the ghetto. And we, as long as the ghetto was not closed, closing the ghetto, now as I talk about this,
When was it
for
closed?
sure April.
This was when it was sealed?
April, sealed, close the door. They closed the gates. And the gates later on were the gates between the city and the ghetto. All products made in the ghetto, in the factories, were delivered through the gates, and through the gates came in the Verpflegung. It means food and vegetables, if there were any.
Tell me a little bit about the conditions of the ghetto at that time.
In the ghetto, first of all, was the biggest problem, what I have seen literature, but nobody mentioned this. We have got no sewer. It was the biggest problem. It was the outhouse, full up. It was not organized in this time. It was just running out. And the same thing with water. We have not got central installed water. Each house got inside a spring with big drains, and a motor have pumped this to the reservoir on the highest floor in the building. When the motor starts, people start to open the faucets home and use the water.
What about disease?
This is what the Germans have scared the people. The ghetto is a place where all people are sick of different diseases, what the common diseases for people, scales, how you call this in English? A deer disease, something like this. It was problems in the beginning. Typhus is food problems. I'm talking about the people that were living in the beginning, 2-3 families in one room. And the conditions, as I described, with water and toilet, were scared. It was terrible. This was very bad. Later on, it was a little bit better, but not much better. The water was still not the best. It was terrible to drink. A lot of people died from this and for lack of food. There was no food.
Tell me a little bit about the conditions that your own family lived under? How many people lived in a room? What the room looked like?
We in the ghetto. I lived just myself with my parents. Joshua lived with his friends, 2-3 guys, thinking about to do something about the story, to escape or just to sabotage the whole things. And Moshe, the oldest, he lived with his wife, and I was with my mother and my daddy. Our room, it was 25 square meters or no bigger.
What,
half of this.
What type of food did you have to eat?
In the beginning, we have had a little bit free food. It means not rationing, but it was not a heating material to cook on. There was no coal, there was no electricity. It was not organized yet. So this what we got, we have to eat raw. Later on, little by little, there were outside places where you go with the pot, everything in, and stay in the line and cook this down and bring home. Some we organize a little bit also. From houses what the ghetto was asked to take apart, small wooden houses, even bigger wooden houses, to recover the wood. And it was a Tischler resort. It means a factory to make some furniture or other needs for the German army from wood. So we have taken apart the houses, not broken, straight wood have been gone to the recovery to make some furniture of this, from this wood in broken pieces. And others, people what work on this have taken home a little bit, but if you were caught, you go to the ghetto jail. Ghetto was a jail, a terrible jail.
Was the wood, I would like to talk more about that, but was
Yes.
the wood used for fuel, the little pieces of wood?
The little pieces, if you can steal them away and not be caught, was your fuel. And not just the pieces of wood, but the tar. This was the best thing, what burned terrible, but you cannot wash later on the pot. But it was fat, not steam, smoke. The smoke was very fat and stick to the pot, so it was another problem. But we did what we can to survive.
Let's go back to the food situation. You said that you said something about rationing.
Yes, it was rationing. The rationing was sometime for 10 days, sometime for 2 weeks. This is the card. This is accidentally my card, my own card. Zelman Meyer. Korb, you can read. Zelman Meyer, Wohnhaft. It means place where you live, Korbstraße, 11. You can see my number is 12738. This is given by the Älteste der Juden. This is the president of the Jewish Society. Verpflegungsbeteiligung. It means the Department of Rationing. And this is a broad card. This is a card just for bread, the bread card. Otherwise, we have had rationing, what was printed, and it was in front of the store. There was no big lines for it, while you can just once take this, and this was for 14 days, for 10, 14 days, and a person with a little bit healthy stomach could eat this in 2 days, the whole amount.
Can you read this print at all, Marian?
Yeah. Brotverstellungsgestelle. Der Inhaber dieses Karte ist zum Abnehmen das gebiegene Brotfange for one person. This card entitled you to take from the place where they divided this bread, where they give out the bread for one person. Then is the whole thing how it is, and right away the last is the best readable. They said any kind of touching this, the numbers or name or otherwise, will be fest bestraft. It means it's criminal and you will be punished for it. The signature is Mordechai Rumkowski, der Präsident älteste der Juden. In the stamp reads, der älteste der Juden, Litzmannstadt. Our city was Lodz, but since the Germans have captured our city, they make us very lucky. It means we were now in a title that our city is Germany, not under occupation, but Germany. All the Germans what have German names in papers, they can show their parents were, grandparents were Germans, became right away German citizens. Others were Volksdeutsche in 3 categories, first, second, and third. While we were also in Germany now, the name Lodz is a name of a rowboat. Lodz means a rowboat. There was a little river. We have no river. There was a little river, and therefore called it Lodz. But the Germans have given the Arne of the city the name of one of the best generals, General Litzmann. Stadt is city, so it became Litzmannstadt, city of Litzmann.
The picture that was just on there, not these, the one that was on there before, who did that belong to?
This was one of the. This was an announcement to people right away when they got the cards. In the other side of the card or below the lower part of the card say, do not touch the numbers or other things.
Whose card was that?
Probably my card. It was not the name nearby. But 1 second before there were 3 cards. This is one card. That is probably, no, this what is taken out is my card. The middle card is Daddy's and the last is Mother's card. I believe so. It's hard to read this. Geprieft.
What does that mean?
This is geprieft. It is acknowledged. People, 1942 was a Sperre. It was, we were asked to stay home.
What's a Sperre?
Sperre is, we have to stay home, a curfew, not to leave home until they will let us know. All people what were working in the factories, there were different factories in the ghetto. People what were working got a stamp geprieft. People what do not work have not got a stamp geprieft. And we didn't know what it mean, what for they did this. But people start to talk. This is probably, they will have the people who do not work and get from Social Security, a kind of Social Security, 9 mark for a month, were the first to go to the death chambers. 1942, September 7, when there was the Sperre, when we were asked to stay home, not to go out, the curfew, they round up blocks. And rounding out the blocks, all people, they cannot one stay home. Sick, alive, everything has to go down, and they've made a selection. Some people right, left, and so on. To scare a little bit, they've turned around a person and killed him just like a dog. By the head, touch him by the head, turn him around, and they gun to the neck, in the back, and shot.
And did you see this?
Yeah, this was in our, it was scare, but I was going from one place to the houses in between, the block were taken away. So they have places, they have cleaned up, they have done everything not to let people hide in any place. The possibility to hide was taken, cleaned up. So this, we were around in the blocks, and we went out to wait for and they have taken on plane wagons, Rollwagens, you call it in German or Yiddish, Rollwagens, carried by with horses, horse-powered. And they put in people over there and taken out from the ghetto. Where others not productive people, we have not too much work, we send them to other camps. After the war, we find out, while part were gone by this kind of transportation, other people were gone by trucks, closed trucks, and they put them in the trucks. This, the Polish people told us, people out from the ghetto told us, the trucks were connected, the pipe, the exhaust pipe, into the truck. In Russia they say dushogubki. This is chambers where people were choked to death with the exhaust pipes.
Do you remember the month and year that that occurred?
I said September 7th, start 1942. This was the day when I lost my mother.
Do you know how your mother was killed?
No.
Okay.
But we got the body. I went out with Daddy outside, and I managed. I have seen where this whole thing goes on, the selection. I start to walk with Daddy slowly in one direction. One guard asked me, "Where you go?" Here I says, "I belong to this house and I have to be between our people." So little by little I found myself between people what left already, and these people were selected. Mother cannot go out, she got a problem with her heart. She was not in good health. So not for the reason just get and so on. Scared, well, she didn't work the day what we have had a stamp already, as people need, quote unquote, to make production for the German army. So she was scared she will be sent in a camp, how we will survive without her, and so on and so on. So we left her. Probably she was covered up with a comforter overhead in bed. We came in, this was not correct, it was tumbled, the whole bed, and we looked, Mother is dead. So I was, as the Jewish law, brought out a piece in linen, unused to make the Jewish burial, the Yiddish Jewish. Paczorkowski, this was, hard for me to remember, but his name, Paczorkowski, there was the man with what was connected with the Friedhof. Friedhof is a cemetery. He was connected with the cemetery, he had collected bodies out to the cemetery to give him the grave, to put him to the graveyard. I went out to call my aunt to help make the dress what a person should be dressed in the Jewish law. I have got the material. Mommy, I don't know how she managed to find a little bit in case of something goes wrong with her and Daddy, so I have to have easier to take him to the cemetery already washed and dressed. I went for my aunt. I came over there, nobody home. All were taken away. But I saw in the street Paczorkowski, and I said, "Paczorkowski, where's my mom?" He said, "If you go with me to the cemetery, I have now a big load, you can help. Come on, I will show you." I went with him to the cemetery and out. Yeah, I haven't got any possibility to have a gravestone or something, a headstone. Even with hand I have shoveled over the dirt to make the grave closed, not to have another body in the same, but to have her own. Daddy couldn't make it. He was an old man, he was 50 years. Can we stop today?
Debbie, I think we need to take a break.
Okay. Just a few seconds. This is,
Can you tell me what these are?
yeah, this is not to have this destroyed that he made in the ghetto, the heart of volute, the heart covers. Therefore, you can have it right now. This came just like this, just in paper, and people lost this and got problems to get rations, what you have to pick up. The long stamp is a ration of coal and other things. And the top is one of the what stated the numbers of the car of the bread bonds. The date is May the 1st, 1943. Below you can find 1942, 1943, different dates. This was used once in a while, not every week or every day. This is from time to time we got coal, K-O, coal. G, Gemüse, the first in the top, the red letter G is Gemüse, it is vegetables, a kind of vegetables what you cannot eat. Hard, frozen, the big kohlrabi here, because not the kohlrabi with the green letters, it was a kind of a yellow, hard ball. People died from it, but people eat this. This was nothing special. So this says, first of all, this is the Gemüse, this is coal, and then is one other article, I do not remember the symbol what is for. This is my note, what I have given to a place where it was possible to make the laundry. 2 pajamas, 1 a nightgown, a long one, 3 pair underwear, 10 day shirts regular, 1 comforter cover, a linen for the comforter, and in the bottom is 1 linen for the mattress. This is my own writing. This is from 1942 again, 7A, 7B. This is the ration. Rations were numbered, so this is the number of the ration we got. 228 is the number of the store. This is again 212. This is the second day of December. We got a ration, P, przydział. Przydział is Dutch, the rationing, what we got. This is a Polish word. This is Gemüseabteilung, der älteste der Juden Gemüseabteilung in Litzmannstadt. This is the Department of Vegetables from the government. The älteste der Juden is the Jewish president. It is his name in the city of Lodz, Litzmannstadt. Below is in German and in Yiddish printed. Do not try to add something or script out something. Everything what here is written has to stay as is. How we say? Do not fix anything. Do not try to fix. This is the highest straf, the highest punishment for this. In Yiddish and in German.
Do you know anybody that tried to change their cards?
I think so, but I do not remember. This is the card was in the name of the head of the family, Zelman Gabriel, Koshikova 11. This is what I said, Korbgasse. This is Basket Street. Gemüse. This is for, again, Gemüse mean vegetables. A number of the card in the date, May the 6th, 1942. This was given to us.
Is
Again,
your father's card?
This is for the family.
The whole family?
Yeah, but the name is the head of the family, what is responsible for it. The älteste der Juden, again in Litzmannstadt, Bekleidungs. This is for eventually garments. The garments were how we find out for people who were taken to concentration camps and killed. unwashed, with blood, came back in the ghetto, and this was stored in the church, Matki Boski. This is the Holy Virgin Mary on a square of the Kreis, the church. The church was attached to the bridge over from one part from the ghetto to the other one. This is the ID card, Arbeitsamt Ghetto, the Department of Labor, Legitimationskarte. The number is there. There's the name, Zelman Moise Schleib. This is my oldest brother, born in 1911. He lives on Franzstraße in Polish-Franziskańska, 47. Führerabteilung. This is the Department of Fuhr. His Amt instructor. There's his signature in the left hand under the picture. Two stamps from one from the Älteste der Juden, both the Abteilung, the number 47. Below is Litzmannstadt again, the day when it's submitted, and the director of the resort. In the right hand is the Department of Labor, Arbeitsamt Ghetto.
Let's go back a little bit and talk about how the ghetto was organized and how it was laid out. Can you describe that for me?
I will try. The ghetto was organized exactly like the German government. You got a department for work, a department of health. There were hospitals, small hospitals, but there were a department of education, very short-lived. There was a department of, I believe there were 9 departments, not with big titles department, but 9 drawers in different buildings for transportation, for work, for the post office, health, few hospitals, health, work, different, 9 different. Beflegung is separate for bread, separate for all kind of cooking needs, but very small, believe or not, daily food for a person. 10 gram kasha. You know what kasha is?
Describe it.
Kasha is grain, cut grain, small cut grain, any grain. It could be a wheat or other kind of grain, hard. And 10-15 gram potatoes. They didn't give you 15 gram potatoes. They give 1 potato or 2 for the family for a month. And the potatoes came and unloaded in an open place with straw, with dirt, with clay, everything together. You came home, you got just a piece of stink to hell. Well, a rotten potato is terrible. What you can do with is we joke, just take off the clothing and jump into the dish to take out 1 grape or 1 piece of this stuff. No wonder people were dying daily in the hundreds. In the hundreds was a factory of that, the ghetto. The ghetto and lodge after the war was accounted as a concentration camp without the gas chamber. We have had a jail on the street Czarnieckiego 4, I guess, with police, Jewish jailers and so on. There were not places to sleep. They were standing and sitting in place, and all the time when it was any possibility to send to a concentration camp or to death, first they cleaned up the jail, and people very, very sick, or mothers with children and so on.
Were children actually allowed to go to school? You mentioned schools.
In the beginning was a school. I know the teachers, it was a couple, Tabaksblatt and his wife. They were teaching before the war. Now we call it gymnasium. This is a high school, a very good high school for very expensive, for people that can afford it. They were in public school, but they were also in other schools teaching. Very nice. She was a mathematician, I guess, and she got some big knowledge in education, so her husband. But later on, we didn't see graduating from school at all. It started to be really just a camp where Hans Bibov, this was the person from the German side, have brought in kind of orders for the army, mostly for the army. Everything that was now civilian, even furniture, everything that was made for the people outside, mostly for the army. I worked in the beginning in the resort where we have taken apart for the furniture resort, but in the beginning was to take down the buildings, the wooden buildings, to recover wood. Later on, we got wood from the outside. And then I worked later in Sattler. This is a resort where we have made from leather and hard material for the army needs, to care gas masks, to care food or other things for the pilots or other kind of military. I don't know, they use like suspenders, leathers. You have seen this in pictures in the front two, in the back one. We have made, there was a resort that have made shoes for officers. I don't know exactly the name of the resort, but I know the guy what was the leader of this was Hecht. I worked with his son in our resort, and he have made shoes like the English style, the best one, the hot shoes, the top shoes. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Okay, Zelman.
Yes.
Mr. Zelman, I'm going to have you identify the next photograph that comes up.
Yeah. This is a photograph taken in 1940, I assume 1940, the end of 1940. Right in the middle, there's a lady in a hat, and from her to her right side, it means in the pictures on her left, is a man with a white collar and a necktie. This is Mr. Olstein and Mrs. Olstein. They start to organize, and I am above Mrs. Olstein. She has a David Star. And to you closer, this is her husband. She is a German lady. She is not Jewish. She's German, a wife of Mr. Olstein. Above them is I am. I disappear. Oh, I'm in the top there. They are organizing a kitchen for people what did not work at all and very poor coming to the ghetto already. Oh, they lost everything and they haven't got yet, they were not rationing cards. We haven't got any possibility to make a living, any living. This lady from me to the left here, a young lady, this is a daughter of a rabbi. She was a translator from German to Polish and Yiddish. I forgot her name. We, the organizers, have looked over and helped to bring the products to the kitchen and to select properly. It was not my job. They were selecting the people outside if they were really needy and so on, and feed the people. This was very short living while the ghetto was out of food and they were stopped the delivering since they started to close up the ghetto. Officially, the ghetto was closed March, April 1940, and this is the beginning of 1940, January probably. So the kitchen was 2 months old. Usually, some organizations like Bund, the Zionist organization or others, have delivered in the beginning food from their stores. People would have had this, or they got the possibility still to bring in. It was not smuggling, but the Germans have not taken much care to, when we bring in food or something else was okay, but not food what could be storaged, and not weapon. Nobody brought in weapon, but food they let. But later on, started the rationing in the kitchen was dissolved. The policeman, you say this is not a policeman, this was the Ordnungsdienst. It means I just say in the corridor his name, not his name, the function. Guard.
This is the person with the armband
With
on?
the armband, guard for the sanitation police. To look over if the kitchen is clean enough, there will be not a disease, something wrong in the kitchen, people wash their hands and so on. So he was sanitation.
Do you remember his name?
No, but this girl is Ruta Ruwalska, and nearby is her brother, this way, Ruwalski. Tabak in Ruwalska. But she was with her husband in the beginning. Yes.
What about this picture?
This is the same picture, further to this side. They were nice people also in glasses. Here we have one person, if the picture would move a little bit to the right, was one guy with the name Sochaczewski. He was a genius in mathematics, and he perished in concentration camp. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, Sochaczewski is to the left of the picture, not far from the guy in the glasses from the policeman, a little further in this side is Mr. Sochaczewski. And this behind is the outside of the ghetto. Thank you.
Okay, Marian, let's return now. You had mentioned earlier about a prison. Can you describe that prison
Yes.
to me?
The prison was on Czarnieckiego. I live Koszykowa. Czarnieckiego was across the street over the field, right away the first. It was a very small building, square building, a building of how you say, not stone, red.
Brick?
Brick, a brick building. And the door was like here, divided in two. The lower part they opened and put in the prisoners. Prisoners were from different kind of wrongdoing. Maybe somebody have stolen when they transport with kind of vegetables. By the transport, something fall down from the wagon, he catched on and escaped, or otherwise something he have stolen something, or otherwise to the prison. And there was also in the beginning a court with a judge, a Jewish judge in a Jewish court in the Jewish Ordnungsdienst, but for different reasons, not paying rent or the electricity, something, have stolen electricity direct from the city. Let's say they have attached a little wire to avoid the meters, to have warm or to cook something. To the prison, and from the prison was emptied every second, third week, fourth week, depend how many people were there. They've taken them, quote unquote, to work, to the highway, to Germany, someplace else. They disappeared and they were gone.
Did you see any executions around that time?
Yes, as a matter of fact, in the resort later in Sattler, where I used to work, one of the workers, I do not remember his name, got wooden shoes, and there was snowing, and the snow stuck to his heels or to this, and he bent an ankle. Anyway, he decided from a piece of leather would fall up by cutting the leather, he have taken a few pieces in leather and attached to the wooden shoes. Somebody saw it. When we left work, we were searched, also by Jewish people, but very often were people that worked with the Gestapo or Krippos Kriminalpolizei for criminals. Anyways, the German know that somebody have taken a piece in leather. They've called all the people from the ghetto. It was a order to get on Franciszkańska. There was the Bezirk. It means the police, a police station. And by the police station was a hanging pool. I don't know how it is in English. A pool straight on the street in with an angle.
Gallows?
A gallows. Okay, a gallows, right. The small hook. After a short time, there came a little wagon. This was without springs, to transport in the field potatoes, something like this, with a seat in the middle. And there were two guards and two men in front what have driven the horse driver with a helper. They came in this place, and they came out a German officer. I don't know his rank. The whole ghetto was there as possible. Around was done. From one side was an empty space where houses were taken down. So it was a big arena, a big show place. And they have loud said the Overmacht of the German army for stealing German German belongings, get the Jew and his name, they sentence them to death. And one, the executioner, have hold on this guy. They've given him the noose over his neck from the front. I don't know. I saw. I was not far away. I'm sure. So they put me to let me see better. And they put this in the helper. And after they read loud, very loud, a loud tube. It was not the today loudspeaker, so the tube. He was sentenced to death. The helper have hit the horse, and the horse went away, and he hanged this way.
Did the Germans make the Jews watch hangings?
This is what I say, not just make us watch. We left organized from the working place everybody by watchdogs, quote unquote, the guards in German police nearby, they didn't touch, just the guards under the supervision from the Germans have asked to go this way or this way to stay, so to make a big circle so everybody can see for stealing German good. The Jew such and such is sentenced to die.
Do you remember his name?
No. He was our co-worker. I have taken a terrible chance with co-workers. We have been frozen at work. I was a cutter of leather. We've taken big pieces of leather, and I cut things for horses, for Russian horses, special small size. I got designing numbers, what to do and how to do. Kantorek, Bishorik, they got different names how for the horse to attach them to the wagon, to the whole carriage, how to work. Anyway, I cut, and this was going across the street on Lagevnicka to the small stand on which people sit, and there were two clamps, wooden clamps. They put in the leather with two needles and sew it together by hand. A very hard job. Anyway, from the small pieces, we were frozen. We have taken the small pieces leather what were for nothing, useless, and we put in the stove, not stoves. It was heating pots. A straight piece like a tube of iron with an opening in the top, and tubes to take the smoke outside. So this little bit wood what we got to burning material was going down. We have taken a few handful and put in this stuff, and this was burnt good. It was fat, while leather when it is produced to make something is still fat. It's got still value, and this was very red right away. We were a nice worm. They came in, it was not a death sentence, but we have to, myself and my daddy and other people, care extremes from the toilet in wagons made from two barrels, connected barrels with a hole in the top, in a wooden pot and a long cane. We have to dump this cane down to the toilet and take out the stuff to the barrel. You know, it is windy and they start to spray on us. To make the long story short, not Daddy, not me, we didn't eat 3-4 days. As soon as we see any kind of food, we throw out.
You throw up?
Throw up with nothing, green something. I have, since then I got a problem with my gallbladder. Right after the war I have to have surgery for it. And I couldn't, well, in Poland was the, as soon as I came to the States in 1968, I got surgery for the gallbladder, but I got attacks all the time. This was terrible, but people have worked what were assigned from the beginning to this kind of job. They have got kind of chlor. Here got chlor in liquid, and there was powder, chlor.
Chlorine?
Chlor. The chemical numbers in name is chlor. Mm-hmm. This you spray in toilets where it's not flashing water and so on for disinfectant reason or other reason. So we couldn't make it. While this have been taken outside places where people do not work and where fields as fertilizer. Well, we got in the ghetto small pieces, pipette in English? Pipette, small pieces, where the people close to Mr. Rumkowski have got small pipettes and got over there their own vegetables and so on. So this was the fertilizer for it. There was not this kind of fertilizer now. Anyway, this was the help for some people what were entitled to have some food. But people that work on this died very fast. A lot of people. I know a person from before the war, Mr. Spiegel, a high intelligent person. I saw him a few times pushing a wagon like this. There were usually 6 person holding a double barrel wagon, 2 pushing from the back, 2 from the front, and 2 by the visor, by the steering pole. There's a steering pole in the front. Instead of horses, there were people doing this job. This was the only thing. There was not a canalization in the city. That's what I said in the beginning. There was not tunnels.
Mr. Zelman, were you involved in any other acts of resistance? When I'm
Yes.
serious, tell me about those.
We got organized people. What people start to organize. I work with one guy. His name was Wolf. W-O-L-F, Wolf. And his uncle, later in Sattler, he worked with us, the young Wolf. He started to mention something, we should do something. What can we do? There's no weapon, there's no this. And we started to talk, maybe it is not far to the end. If we can do nothing right now, we have to watch when the German will escape, not to let him. When there will be some rumbling from the air, we have to do something. It means go to the improvisation where the food is and so on, and keep guard, not to let people rob this, but to divide for the people that were hungry all the time, from ghettos and so on. We did everything what was possible, but this was one part. The organization got about 5-person circle. This was the smallest unit, was the smallest and the biggest was no more than 5. And one of the 5 was connected with a higher rank unit. Nobody, I didn't know my own brother was one of the leaders. Joshua was one of the leaders. And he got a terrible problem in ghetto for his leadership. I will return to this if you will remind me. Anyway, we have organized, we have been gone to other resorts when it was possible to escape a little bit, to go in another place. Do everything to eat and to rest. Do not work. Just do yourself a favor and do not work. Nobody account to work, so do not work. Let them not have production from us. There were oppositions. People said if we wouldn't produce, we will be killed. And we said we will be killed anyway. What we have achieved is one. There was the nail resort. People have produced nails. This was the metal resort. There was a resort for making garments. Children worked in the resort. Kids, boys, and mostly girls in the age 14, 15 years old.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This word resort that you're using, what does that refer to?
Factory.
Oh, okay.
Big factory. We cannot say a factory. A factory is organized with pay and so on. This was, let's say, a factory. Well, everywhere, if you go to documents, let's say you have here the ID card of my brother, of Moses. This is Küchner Resort. Therefore, I operate a resort. If somebody else will go to the printed material, if you say factory, you wouldn't find this. Resort, you know what it is. It's not a healing Kurort, a place where you go in a resort like here for fun and for health. The resort means factory. We went to the factory for garments for the children. We organized a strike. Children, well, in the factory, we get people are going to the factory not as much to work or for the money, but the factory got, every factory, a kitchen, and they've given you a soup. Sometimes, by a special occasion, was a double soup, but usually a soup. And there's everywhere people very hungry, the soup very salt sometimes. It means, what means salt? They've added a little bit more water. The population got very tiny soup, more water than food, than grapes or potato, a little potato inside. And others people would have paid. It was not a lot of them, but it was mishandled. These people have stolen this way, have taken out soup and sold out to somebody else. The money was not a big deal for something. You got some, let's say, clothing and somebody needs this and so on, so they give you the soup. Mostly people would work in the improvisation. It means people would have handled food, have had the possibility. I don't know if there were big stealings of stuff and so on. Well, everybody knows if you were caught, it's live, and the morale was not so low after all.
Tell me a little bit about that children's strike you mentioned. What
This was
happened
a
there?
short strike. Children, the whole work of the people involved there in this. We have here in the United States one professor. I cannot name his name, while he do not cooperate now in the Jewish this. He was one of the leaders to organize the strikes also. He is now a professor, and we've seen him several times in the TV. I will not tell his name.
What happened during the strike?
Nothing. Children didn't work and didn't eat. A hunger strike, a few days until they couldn't make it anymore and back. But it was a message. Somebody is doing something about the whole story. We got other things to sabotage the work. To make the long story short, I have given, when there is a piece in leather, I have a cow. Usually it is not the whole cow. I have a cow for hard leather for horses to make the garment, I don't know how it calls in English. You don't know, neither I. This is the hard part. And low is the legs, the two legs, is this piece that goes from stomach, between stomach and the legs, the underarm, the under leg. This is the softest part and worn out part. Okay, this is regulator, you cannot string them out to make longer. This is the length. This part you pull out. This is the part that you make some purses and so on. The soft leather. So we have taken the hard leather and cut off small pieces in the soft leather, make them, and we make a small note. The horse will not carry the wagon further than 1 yard. Well, this will break up. We just assign to the next guy, to the next cutter. Take the lower part in and the good part cut off small pieces. Yeah, it's gone not too long. We have to watch well if we were this we were lucky. It was parked and gone to Russia, and this was the end. This was the end of the ghetto. This was the first part of the sabotage was done. The risk we have taken was summertime 1944, before the ghetto was liquidated. Before the ghetto was liquidated, was the post office taken apart. The mailmen were sent away to Poznan. This is the highway what connected Poland with Germany, to work on this highway.
Before we go into that, can we return a little bit to, you told me to remind me to mention your brother, Joshua.
Joshua was called several times by the leader of the Tischler resort, of the Tischler factory. Bernard Freund, I guess. Freund was the name of the director, to make him as a foreman. And he refused. He says, I cannot be the foreman. While a foreman is right away, you can see him, he got a smoke, he looked different, he is entitled, quote unquote, to maybe additional soap or additional premium. And he knows, that people know him, that he was sympathizer to the left, to the leftists. There was no more Communist Party, nobody was a communist. We call it the Left Workers' Organization. The leftist workers' organization. This was a replacement for the Communist Party, which was dissolved by Stalin, the Polish Communist Party, in 1937-38. He was, I hate to go to deep politics. Stalin accused the Polish communists they are cooperating with the Polish police. So the Polish Party was dissolved. Leninski and other leaders from the Communist Party were called to Kremlin, were killed over there in Russia. He was a sympathizer like we all, not all, but the Zionist organization and other parties worked together, almost together, Bund.
Is this part of the underground?
It was, sure, there's nothing was official. If the German would know that 3 persons talk about something wrong, all 3 would be public hanged. Nothing was legal. But people, we go together very often to talk about what to do and so on. His politics was, I will not go for any job a little higher, so people will think about me, about himself, that he is a two-faced person, that he plays as a person what is talking, what to do about the whole crisis in the ghetto and to do against the sabotage and so on, from one hand. On the other hand, he works with the management, right? So he refused. While he refused, he was taken away. I don't know how they did it, but anyway, he got, with his health terrible, his fingers start to break. A vitamin nose, lack of vitamins. He couldn't make a fist, he couldn't, but they didn't release him. In the morning, a guard brought him to work, and after work, they take him home, not to go anywhere but home. Some people, I have seen people after the war, they was telling me that he was denunciated by one of the people in camp that he is a communist leader, and he was hanged. Some said that he was shot. Anyway, he was killed in March 1945. I was free. Yeah.
Can you tell me who this is in the picture?
This is the picture of him.
This is your brother.
Yeah, Joshua.
Can you tell me when you did leave the ghetto and how that happened?
Hans Bibov, there was the ghetto of the person that have organized work from outside the ghetto for the ghetto. He was probably entrepreneur or something like this. He was not in uniform, mostly not. I do not remember him in uniform. He came very often and to visit, not to visit, but to see how we work and what is done, what kind of work, to produce more and better. And when one part of the ghetto, this part of the ghetto was liquidated, Lutomierska Straße, another, to our side, some right away taken away in different concentration camps we didn't know. Everything was mostly done nighttime or early in the morning when we were at work.
When did the ghetto first start getting liquidated? What month and year did the ghetto begin to become? When did people start leaving the ghetto?
Leaving? Nobody left by themselves. They were
No, but
just
when were they
transporting.
taken away?
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. The biggest, not evacuation, the biggest killing, quote unquote, start September 7, 1942. This is what I call Sperre, the German word Sperre, and this is the curfew, the big curfew, what was for 7 days. Before the curfew, when we have had rationing, a can of food, of meat, horse meat, I don't know what kind of meat, horse meat probably, for a whole family, let's say for a week, for 3 person, 4 person, you got a whole can. They've not given you a whole can. The can was not touched, but with a nail. It was a nail, and the person that have given you the ration, taken out the bone, hit the can from one side to the other side, enabled you to keep aside, to hang a little bit with another family and keep aside so you can go underground or hide someplace. So they did this to say, as soon as you take this home, you have to eat this. Otherwise, spoiled after 2 days. You have not refrigerators. People have to think with the categories from our life, not this what we have in the United States. There was no refrigerators, there was no ice. Ice was on the street, but not ice to cover and to keep food fresh.
Let's move a little to the part where you actually left the ghetto. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, Bibov came to our resort and, quote unquote, over the garbage place, have a speech. Dear workers, not workers, dear workers, you worked very nice and so on. The enemy is coming closer, and we decided to evacuate you to Aussicht Sudeten. Some people know Aussicht Sudeten, the Sudetengebiet, the Sudeten place, the Sudeten mountains, or so on, have been a resort for good air and a place where people like to go. Not to be executed, but like to go. And he got a speech. All of you, pack your belongings, everything take together. The machinery will be taken apart. Everything is already by the railroad. And tomorrow we will see you in Marian. Marian is a little village or a railroad stop in one of the corners from Lodz. It was around a circle from the railroad in case when the railroad have to go to change the line in another place and not just to go. This it was a circle, something like this. So he told us that we have to go to the railroad stop, and we will go there with our clothing, with everything, packages. And each package should have a name, an address, a return address in case it get lost, so they will send down and so on. And we went down the next day. This was 2 days later. Anyway, it was August the 13th. We came down to the railroad station, and there were boxes for transport for animals, or good, a heavy good. Clean inside, and when we came over, the SS, the police, we didn't then recognize what this SS or other one. We were going around looking and examining all things, any point below the cars and in the cars. He says, look at this, the inspection have to be so clean. Look what's German now. And right in the middle in the car was a barrel with water, or an empty barrel. And we get in, and they were also from the Judenrat, from the Jewish society. People going around and watching elderly people, giving them a little bag with sugar, additional piece of bread, and so on. And each of us have got one bread on the road, and says, don't eat. You go for a whole day, a day and a half, maybe 2 days, and sometimes could be interruptions. So people start inside to talk to each other. Don't save while we get in a new place. We never know when we will have the new rations. They will take you again by name. They register this, and will, people start think right away that if he said, dear friend, we go with our enemy, you will be punished by the Russians while you work with us together. He started to convince us we have to go. So people came down, and the underground said, we are going to be killed. And there was voices. Even my brother said, Marian, try to escape. Try to do anything we can.
Which brother?
Joshua. He said to me, try, we do not believe. There was one radio someplace else, and there was not very different news what we cannot verify if it's true, how far the Germans are going back, how long it could be. And he, talking to us, Bibov, said, open nighttime the windows, you can hear bombing the city. It was something what came, some voice detonations you can hear. So, but people said, we don't know if this is exercise from the German army or really something will happen. So we have to go, we have to go. There's no food from the rationing. We couldn't save any food to hide in a place longer, right? And there was no possibility, there was no channels. That's what I begin with. It was nowhere to hide, while the outside was against us. The population, this was the German population. It was no more Poland, it was Germany. Probably a lot of Polish people who did not cooperate straight with the German were taken away from the surrounding in the ghetto. Well, from the ghetto, I didn't hear too many people escape from the ghetto.
So how many people left with you, and then what happened next?
What happened next, we went to the wagons. Nobody left. Nobody left in the city. We have been taken out. Before, I didn't told this Debbie, before our sending away to Auschwitz, this is the transport. Before the transport to Auschwitz, we were taken away from our resort, while the resort have to be dismantled. As I said, the factory, the Ledensat factory, we were taken to near the Jewish cemetery, where barracks were, and we work in the barracks. What kind of work? There were shoes, old uniforms, and old belts, not from leather, from material. And the German asked us to take apart all the stuff from this, and they were watching us. When we have taken apart the belts, inside were letters, were a pen, a ring, different things. Whatever, right away, they're seeing this, they're taken away. Shows up this was from prisoners of war, but they have hide something from the front. and they were sent to the ghetto to take apart to see what the movement is outside, probably. This resort got the name Gutreimann shop. It was terrible, dust, in blood, terrible things to work. In the whole thing, it was a hammer just to hit this, or a piece in metal, what should be a knife, to cut off the belt. What is for material? This is for for soldiers would work in hot climate, in the desert someplace. This was not soldiers from Europe. These were soldiers probably from the German army, what caught the French, another one. Anyway, we came to Marian. We were loaded in the wagons, closed from the outside, 100 persons in a box, more or less. We came down to, after 40 hours, 30, I don't know how long, hard to remember right now. Anyway, there were dead people between us. To open this, and we don't know, is a circus a mistake, something wrong. People dressed different in blue, white stripes, round heads, and throw us out from the gates. Raus, 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 in the German, the yelling, you know, this was not talking, this was yelling, the scare pressure, and thrown out people, and right away line up. So Podlaski, the leader of our shop, of the Leder and Sattler, everybody start to yell, Mr. Podlaski, go to the leader, say this is a mistake. We are not in the right place. Auschwitz, but not Aussieg. It's a mistake. So he got a letter from Mr. Bibov that we are an organized group, workers need for the army to produce bags and so on, for the army need, for the pilots, the rims. And the assessment looked at this, made a little ball to us away, and we were selected. Right, left, right, left. I even couldn't say goodbye to Daddy. I didn't know where Daddy is. Daddy was in one night.
So your father did go with you?
We were together in wagon, but out. I jumped out, I was a youngster, and turned around to help Daddy. But I was already taken by the collar and thrown away like a little puppy.
How old were you?
I was 23 years old, 24. But it is not this, but I was strong, I was heavy built, not heavy flesh, but heavy bones. I was very strong, young. Okay, so I jumped out and turned around to help Daddy, but somebody right away, one from the prisoners from concentration camp, they were taking a special commando for the newcomers. And I say, where is Daddy? I like to say, don't worry, see the smoke here? This will be tomorrow from you. You will tomorrow also go to Himmelfahrt in German. You go to fly to the sky. This is where you are all going to. Near me was a guy and said, don't give him the watch or something else. This is just to press you to give away. And I couldn't say Daddy, but I know Podlaski is there, maybe Daddy is there. I came to the point, was somebody says, this is Dr. Mengele. The selection, right, left, right, left. And there are women with children and so on. And they asked one woman, give the child to her. She says, no, it's my child. You want to give her? Go with your child also to where the women is, and so on. Later on, we understood if she would give away the child there, she would go to a camp for work to 2 months, 3 months later to be killed. But everybody was going in one side, not in the side where we were gone, were perished the same day. The factory have worked day and night. The first wonder what it was not understanding for us in any way. We have to cover the lights, no lights in the evening. If they catch you with a cigarette nighttime, a lighting cigarette, you killed. Well, this is giving sign for the air float, for the air rights, for the enemy, and so on. Here we came to Auschwitz, it's like daytime. Nighttime, all the lights, all the fire from the crematories, everything open, like a carousel and like a a carnival, just like a carnival. People running, yelling, and kicking and beating the hell out from people. Then start another selection and another selection, each few minutes, for a few hours, until we came to a place where we have to undress. Overnight we were still in our suits or some kind. We sit on the floor. It was so tight. We sit on the floor with the legs, let me show you, like this,
Was
high.
this in a barrack?
A barracks, so high with the legs. And here, I got the next body. My hand were on the legs from somebody. Somebody got the legs, the hands on my legs, and so on. Can you understand this?
How long were you sitting like that?
All night. This was not the possibility to breathe even, but this was not the whole story. This is the beginning. When we were pressed into the barrack, there came the Blockälteste. This is a different, Blockälteste and Blockführer. Blockälteste is one of our prisoners, and Blockführer is a German in a uniform. So the Blockälteste, there were people from Germany, the beginning from the concentration camps, the old guard, all knew what also with good murderous instinct were the Blockältestes. And there a few of them came in. This is the new transport. Moses have split the sea. It was just water. We with the cane will split your head, and we will have the diamonds and gold and everything, and give us up before we start. People says, we are already empty. No, we will show you in the start. The I show in the beginning how we were set, we cannot move. So they were walking over our heads with the wooden shoes, with a cane, and hit one by one. It was a nightmare. Dante's Inferno was a kindergarten. Comparing to this one night, I will not say more, but this was the beginning. Near me was a young guy. From one hit, they broke him the ankle here, the hand.
Elbow.
Well, the elbow. The elbow, not the whole, this one part here. It was hanging like this, and this guy survived. He was the helper to our cook in our camp. I don't know his name. Anyway, this was going on till the white day, 6 in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning. No watch, so I cannot say what time it was. But they brought out from their room ham, bread, and eat. And our president says, if you will cooperate, you can have a bite. And we haven't eaten. As I telling you, people got the whole bread not touched. While we go to a resort in the mountain, we will have, and we don't know how long it will take time until we start to get food, our food, right? So we save the bread. My daddy in wagon in the morning lift the bread and shown to me. See, I didn't touch. I was hungry. I didn't touch. We came to the place. You will go around. You will help something, and we will organize now different.
Did you see your father
No,
again?
no, I didn't see him. This was the tragedy. When we came over there in this, after the barrack, after this nightmare, I don't know how many people were killed. Well, right away in the morning, a vessel, he came out in front of the barrack. They start to teach us mitten up and mitten down. This mean head up and head down, head up, like a corporal, not a corporal, sorry, say the drill, corporal drill goes on, run, hop and roll, hipping like a goose, with the hand in the front, knee with his setting down. Just like this, into hip, back and forth, or lay down and roll like in a rolling machine. And again punished. It's suddenly a whistle. A lineup, roll call, a customer is here. It means somebody goes around and hit with a roller, a heavy roller over the head, take up the head, put up, put down, take down, put down, take down. and then get undressed but first. And Mr. Hahn, I remember his name, Mr. Hahn was buying people. He bought people. I found out where, while I was in touch later on after the war with one of the guys, to the coal mine, to Jaworzno. This was a coal mine not far away from Gleiwitz. This is the place. Anyway, next day we were asked to undress and down to a place, leave everything in place, just take your shoes and the belt. And we stay in the front of a building between two places, two long wooden stacks to go through, and here where they said, and this was one of the last selections. So when we stay undressed, all ready to go in, and the other side came out some women, also naked, and one with a blanket. She started to yell, "People, please say to Staszek Wolański that his mama go to death." She was rejected from this place. And Staszek Wolański was the guy what worked in our later Sattler resort in the office, going back and forth. He was a youngster. After the war, he was a bookkeeper and died suddenly in San Francisco on a heart attack.
So did you know a lot of the people that were in your barrack from your ghetto?
This
all
transport was from our shop. I didn't know people from the shop, a lot of them, but clothes workers from office. You know, you go in sometime, you were called into the office. Let's say there was action, they call into the office. If you have some jewelry is one, it is a new order to bring it down to the bank. It was a Jewish bank. And they buy it by you for the Jewish money printed in the ghetto. What's worthless, you can buy nothing. Everything was rationing, right? But you have, as a Jew, may have no jewelry, no wedding ring even, no wedding band, no fur. Everything has to be sold in the bank. So sometimes the leaders of the shop where we work let us know some orders in case we could be later on in trouble, and he was a nice man. So we got the Staszek Wolański, people know him, he's a nice guy, and we know him from the underground a little bit. He was not a big leader, but we know, not by association, but sniffing and knowing somebody else he looks like, and he is, okay? This was, and when she was young, I was not far from Podlaski, and I say, "Mr. Podlaski, where is my dad? My dad died now. I got a shock inside." And he hit me. He says, "Don't say, by Jew you cannot say, as long as you don't say the body, don't say you that died." And we go through this place, and this was hell. There was men, women, for women, men, no problem, with hand barber cutters,
Cutting
you know,
shears.
hand, like
Scissors.
No scissors. The machine was a hand machine to cut hair. The old type.
Shaver or razor?
Razor. Not shaver, razors. Razors, and they cut the hair where a person has. From the ankles down, over the head, fit everywhere you got them. And there is the officer, means the inspector stays nearby, faster, 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 and they goes in some places, soft places, and hit you, and this is with blood. You start with blood running. Anyway, then we went over in a place where the carbol was, an open beton place, and there was a sign, poison, it means a shower. And one also a prisoner with a big glove dumped the head in the carbol and start to wipe you in the places where you bleeding. And this was, you go in, the disinfection, quote unquote. This was the first hello, and then we go in, and I got the feeling this is something very bad. I was holding on to the wall. I didn't care for the shower. I just have taken over my head a little bit, the head was cut in several places, my face, and I got a lot of hair on the chest, so they got what to do. One woman from the SS say maybe he can go this way. I don't know. An angel probably put somebody else in front of me. She says, "Where is he?" I was already had no tattoo, but I was in the other side, and I get out from the shower, quote unquote shower, again looking again at a vision from darkness to look if they found here some lice or something else under the arms or in another place to turn around hemorrhoids is right away rejected. Thank God they haven't found nothing. So I go through another murder line. One throw you the shoes if you have not your own shoes. One the slacks, one a jacket, and as you know I'm very tall man. I got the slacks. I can roll over twice as much. I'm very short, so I got a big problem. But the problem was for a second just, while the other guy behind me got his slacks so far. So we exchanged, mine were to the end and his were to the end. And we stay again in the same place, nowhere, another selection. And again, they take us to another building, a brick building. And there was yelling people in, and they pushed the people to close the door. And there came one of the lager that says, "What the hell you stay here? Why don't you go over there? Rush!" I found out later this was the way to the gas chamber.
Where did you get your tattoo?
The tattoo I got in Schreiber's room. This is the room for bookkeeping of the amount of prisoners and so on. They were sitting around a whole line of people, and over each person was a letter, A, B, C, and so on. I got trouble. In Polish, my name is Zelman. In German, Z is C, will be Zelman. To be Zelman, I have to stay by the letter S. S is Zelman. You have some pictures from World War I. Our name was written Selman, but read Zelman. You understand? This is just...
How long were you in Auschwitz?
In Auschwitz, I have been 4 days, 4 or 5 days. Not Auschwitz, this is Birkenau.
Birkenau.
There was a lot of transport from Romania in other camps.
Where did you go after you left Birkenau?
From Birkenau with a truck, they have taken us to Mykolaiv. Mykolaiv, this is a short stop to take potatoes in an open field and put them in cover with straw for winterize them.
What is Mykolaiv?
Mykolaiv is a wave between Birkenau and Gleiwitz.
Was it a town?
No, it's a village, a big village. A farmer got probably a friend, a soldier, says, "Give me a little people more, give me a little bit people. For a half a day I will give him a soup and do the job to cover up the potatoes for winter." So we covered them with straw. Some people have to pick up potatoes was very already rotten or start to be rotten away, not to spoil others. And we put in wooden chimneys with straw and then sand in the top and a little bit, no, was snow, not yet. But we covered this up. So, and after half a day, we were loaded again on the same trucks and taken to Gleiwitz.
And what was Gleiwitz?
Gleiwitz, this was the concentration camp where I have been all the time until January.
And please, can you describe it to me?
Yes. Gleiwitz, when we were taken to Gleiwitz, this was Wehrmachtgelände. It means fields belong to the army. Not to the army, to the armed forces. A big, betreten verboten, you may not go through this place. Betreten verboten, Wehrmachtgelände. Okay. We came in on field, and around the barracks were Russian prisoners of war, probably. Prisoners of war, while they were in uniforms. They cooked outside in small fire. They've got a small fire, potato, something, and they got the small gears what soldiers have for food, to keep food and so on. When we came in, the two barracks, big barracks, were emptied, and we have gone into the barracks. We start by ourselves to make holes, to put in pools and wires to make the surround the whole place under a gate.
Why were you doing that?
An order of the Germans not to escape. We have done a fence, not we have made a fence around the concentration camp what we were in. There were two main barracks divided between the two barracks was the appeal place where the morning gathering was divided in groups to go to work. In front of us was the kitchen. It was the big field pot. I don't know how you call this in the army pot in which you cook the food. They were different than the Polish one. This was a pot, a doubled one. Between one pot and the other one was water. You heat the one pot in the hot water, boil this what is in the pot from which we have the coffee in the morning, quote unquote coffee, the dark water, and the soup afternoon. And behind was the barrack for the commandant of the concentration camp.
How many people would you say were there when you were there?
I cannot say exactly how much we were. I think about 600 persons. There were rooms, they call Stube in German. In each room, depend how big the room was. It was not tight. You can see through the walls, the weather outside, snow. In the morning, there were beds, the hard places to stay on. Three layers or 2 layers, depend how high the ceiling was.
What did you do there?
I work in Tiefbau. I were taken out every morning. They were divided in 9 commandos, 9 working brigade. My commander in which I worked was Commando number 2. The commando leader was Capo Leibler. The rest, he was, how you go? He have made suits. Let's say he was a good tailor. There were a few tailors between us. Anyway, when we came over in Gleiwitz, in the appeal, they asked professions. All were tailors. So it's a big deal. Jews are just tailors. No, they find carpenters, shoemakers, and so on. And they divide by profession and not by profession. I've got this kind of profession, but even so, we were taken. I say I work in the ghetto, no problem. Healthy people to drilling deep holes under foundations of buildings.
Okay. We're going to need to move ahead here, and I need to find out what happened to you when you left Gleiwitz.
Gleiwitz, we left
How long were you there?
In Gleiwitz, I was until probably the 24th, the 25th of January.
So how many months were you there?
From August 15, I never count. That is my head
so
to
from
account
August
the days.
to January.
From August 15 to January the 23rd, the 24th, probably. While we walked from Gleiwitz out, and then we returned while something was wrong on the way. And then we went one more time. And we reached, after I think 2 days, so Blechhammer.
And what was that?
Blechhammer, this was the final concentration camp in which I escaped. By Blechhammer, we were told we will go to Großrosen. But in Blechhammer, it was again the same thing, bombs and fire. Oh, in Blechhammer, I have seen a man with his name, I think Pakin or something like this, running to the kitchen when it was bombing. And when he reached the kitchen door, there's proviant, there's food. When he reached kitchen door, I've had a bullet and he fall. I don't know if he was from the guard shot or they close somebody, they'll shot him. Somebody said this is this man and so on, but I don't know exactly.
What did you see when you were at Blechhammer?
In Blechhammer was a big fire, the barracks, from one bombing. And then somebody else says he found some food and so on, some meat. And he reached some meat and I say, you know what you eat? This is one of our guys, a prisoner is killed. And this have scared me the hell.
Are you saying to me that he actually ate a person?
Probably. I don't believe somebody else left food on the third, they call Stube in German. In each room, depend how big the room was, it was not tight. You can see through the walls, the weather outside, snow. In the morning, there were beds, the hard places to stay on. Three layers or 2 layers, depend how high the ceiling was.
What did you do there?
I work in Tiefbau. I were taken out every morning. They were divided in 9 commandos, 9 working brigade. My commander in which I worked was Commander number 2. The commando leader was Capo Leibler. The rest, he was, how you go? He have made suits, let's say. He was a good tailor. There were a few tailors between us. Anyway, when we came over in Gleiwitz, in the appeal, they asked professions. All were tailors. So it's a big deal. You are just tailors. No, they find carpenters, shoemakers, and so on. And they divide by profession and not by profession. I've got this kind of profession, but even so, we were taken. I say I work in the ghetto, no problem. Healthy people to drilling deep holes under foundations of buildings.
Okay. We're going to need to move ahead here, and I need to find out what happened to you when you left Gleiwitz.
Gleiwitz, we left.
How long were you there?
In Gleiwitz, I was until probably the 24th, the 25th of January.
So how many months were you there?
From August 15, I never count. That is my head
so
to
from
account
August
the days.
to January.
From August 15 to January the 23rd, the 24th, probably. While we walked from Gleiwitz out, and then we returned while something was wrong on the way. And then we went one more time, and we reached after, I think, 2 days, so Blechhammer.
And what was that?
Blechhammer, this was the final concentration camp in which I escaped. By Blechhammer, we were told we will go to Großrosen. But in Blechhammer, it was again the same thing, bombs and fire. Oh, in Blechhammer, I have seen a man with his name, I think Pakin or something like this, running to the kitchen when it was bombing. And when he reached the kitchen door, there's proviant, there's food. When he reached kitchen door, I've had a bullet and he fall. I don't know if he was from the guard shot or they closed somebody else shot him. Somebody said this is this man and so on, but I don't know exactly.
What did you see when you were at Blechhammer?
In Blechhammer was a big fire, the barracks, from one bombing. And then somebody else says he found some food and so on, some meat. And he reached some meat and I say, you know what you eat? This is one of our guys, a prisoner is killed. And this have scared me the hell.
Are you saying to me that he actually ate a person?
Probably. I don't believe somebody else left food on the third level of the wooden bed.
What did he say to you?
He right away jumped away. He says, I don't think so. I don't know who it is. I say, I wouldn't try to eat. Well, there's probably a person, a burnt person to that. Anyway, I didn't return to the barrack. I was standing down, and we got a roll call. A guy came out with a gun, with the roll call. He started to shot. I don't know if he have accounted which way he did it, but as soon he finished, and the gate was a little bit open. I got the three guys, what I've given the pictures to you.
Do you want to tell me about that?
There's two pictures I've given. Goldwater, the brother Goldwater, and another. Probably Debbie has the picture she will show later. They are probably in New York, the brothers. I don't know where they are now. But we escaped together. They are here.
Tell me
In
their
the middle
names.
is Goldwater, the oldest brother. In the left side, Shmulek, Srulek, Shmul and Srul, their name, I don't know which belong to him. And this is Zen in the right hand. He have sent me a picture from Feldafing from Germany when he escaped right after from Poland, after we came back to lodge together. Their address to me is brother from concentration camp. I was a little ill, better with German, speaking German. I have helped one guy, his name Śpiewak. He worked in City Hall in Śpiewak, in Israel. Mr. Śpiewak was a man ready for the gas chamber. He was bended to the front, Schüttelfrost, anything a little bit cold, he started to shiver and so on. It was terrible. And I said, Śpiewak, he says, Marian, I will die very fast. I said, what can we do for you? He says, I know I'm a watchmaker. I can repair watches. In the Oterman, this is the person what received us from camp to work for him to make the foundation. His name, the German, his name was Gustav Ginter, but he was from Bayern, I think, so they call him Gustav. So Gustav Ginter, I says to him, Master, if you need to repair a watch, we have a watchmaker. He says, yeah, give him. And Mr. Śpiewak was able to stay in the boot, in the wooden boot. When we were freezing in snow, he was in the wood repairing watches. The Germans need everything. Each soldier got a watch, they came right away. Mr. Śpiewak survived. He found out I'm in Israel, visiting in Israel. He called me in with a big party. Then when I escaped, I got another guy, but I helped him walk. He couldn't walk. Zucker in Bat Yam. I helped him also a little bit.
Can you tell me if these people were in Blechhammer with you? Were these people in the
Yes,
picture?
yes.
Who are they?
We escaped together. This is Goldwater from the right, in the right side here. And this is Zen, I forgot his last name. This is Srulek or Shmulek. The two brothers got the two names, and everybody mixed them up.
Tell me about your escape.
This was I assumed it was the 29th of January. And the roll call was terrible. The fire behind. And I was afraid the savage people start to eat people. I don't know. Maybe I was from exhaustion. I don't know what. I feel burning meat. This is 100% sure. The barrack was burning. Nobody escaped there. I'm sure that nobody escaped. And we were not far from the gate. And I see the gate open. And I say, I go to the guys. I go. They said, we also. We ran out. We were going through the forest in snow, deep snow. The first place we came out was Kieferstädtel. And there were already dead soldiers, German soldiers on the street. We got old soldiers still, the home guard, but they were not able to fight. And further we say Russian soldiers. So we've gone vabank.
Was there no one? Did no one see you when you left the camp? When you left Blechhammer? How did you?
I have not looked around. I just ran away and that's it.
So there was fire.
Just fire and showed to the gate. And the gate was a little bit open. So it's just to go.
So no one saw you leave?
No. I believe the guy what was in the upper in the upper part from the point, the observation point. Okay, probably this guy was down shooting.
Where was the fire from?
From bombing.
Bombing. So it was
From
being
bombing.
so it was being bombed.
There was being bombed before we came in or during our stay over there nighttime. There was a fire and I escaped with these people. We were together, but on our way we find other people also that escaped from Auschwitz or otherwise, I don't know, or Auschwitz was liberated and go to Gleiwitz. They were from Gleiwitz. I don't know. They were. We got a father and son that were from Gleiwitz. And during the war, Lodz was a turn point for whole Europe. All people, Jew from all Europe, all over, from Belgium, from Greeks, from everywhere, sent to the Lodz ghetto, to Liesmannstadt ghetto. It was the most organized ghetto, quote unquote ghetto, but a concentration camp. It was still not these people do not understand what's a ghetto. This is not this what we have here.
There's going to be a picture here now. Can you tell me what this is?
This is my shirt from concentration camp. They were, if I would be caught with this shirt this way, I would hang. While from one side I have the clothing, the two strings, and from one side is missing. We got once a terrible story. We were working, and one from the SS people came home earlier, but assist us with the guard, the SS guard. He was drunk or something else, and he didn't use their outhouse, and he went to our latrine. Our latrine was a hole. In front of the hole, a long piece in wood on which we hang over like birds. Could you imagine this? No? A few pieces in wood over a big hole. And this we walk. A little higher, a round piece in wood, like a bench, a tiny wood, on which we sit down and we do our need. And there was one lamp hanging down on a electric wire. He was drunk or something else, he hit this, and we came home, somebody did sabotage. And they have taken us to punish for this sabotage for the German good, for the German material, the piece in wire with the lamp.
This is actually your shirt. This is
is
not
my
a
shirt.
photo. You have this with you. You still have this item.
Yeah.
What concentration camp was that from?
This is from Birkenau. We got in Gleiwitz everything from Auschwitz, from Auschwitz-Birkenau. This was the place what sent in to the food and dress, everything.
So when you
Shoes.
so when you left Auschwitz, you were Birkenau. Were you wearing that shirt?
That shirt.
And
This
were other
or another one. While we get once in a week or once in 2 weeks, the shirts, and we put in other shirts on us.
So this shirt, this particular shirt, was it issued to you? Where was it issued from?
This was issued in Gleiwitz, and I walked out in Gleiwitz in this shirt, and I didn't change anymore, and I came to Lodz in the same shirt.
Okay. Tell me about your liberation.
My liberation was tragic. I came back to Poland. It was in Poland. Gleiwitz is Poland. Everything is Poland. It was once during World War I under plebiscite. Poland and Germany fought over this, and it was a plebiscite is accounting by people where this place has to belong between Poland and Germany. So it was given to Poland. This was Gleiwitz was the provocation point to begin the war. Germans have shot 7 soldiers, Polish soldiers, and put in German uniforms and made officially the Pole killed Germans. And this was the point that Germany got right to invade Poland.
Did anyone liberate you, or
No,
so was there a point at which you decided you were free?
no. No, this is when we escaped, four of us, 4 or 5 of us, when we escaped, we came to the first city, we started to beg food, and there was a milliner, no name, I don't know. We came in, we asked for food, he had given to us food, he asked us to lay down in an empty room on straw, then in beds, in big beds, us 5, and our shoes and everything on a table in front of the room where we were, and says, I will catch Germans and show them what you wear and how you look like. I don't know the nationality, I know just one thing. Next day, the women from this were raped by Russian soldiers.
Where did you go after that?
I walked to Częstochowa. Częstochowa was also a concentration camp for people, but they work in a steel mill or steel mill over there, and a munition factory also.
Did you see women actually being raped?
No, we heard this.
You heard about it. Who did you hear it from?
Next door, next room, not next door, next room. In the morning, one of the women, a German-speaking woman, told me that she was raped. And the soldier says, if you will destroy the baby, I kill you. It was like a scenario. The guys have heard the same thing, but she was telling, I was the person that conversed with her, talked to her. She says he have taken off his uniform and put grenades around the chair and asked her to go with him to bed.
We're taking a break.
No, it is 9:30. I think I have to go home.
He has to go home, and so do I.
I'm tired.
When did you return home?
I came home, I think it was February 6th.
And did you find anyone when you came back?
Nobody. I was going from places to places where I was born, where my parents lived later, and my grandparents, my uncles. I went from home to place to place, while some homes were taken down. So I find nobody.
Did you find anything?
Yes, I went back on Koshikova, and I find my daddy's talus sack. This is a sack in which we went Saturday to the synagogue. The talus inside was missing, because it was wool, but inside were pictures that I have hide before somebody else. I hide them inside in talus, together with the talus.
Okay. And do you know what happened to the rest of your family?
In this time, nothing. But later on, and after the liberation, from the half of May, the liberation was May 9, I guess, was the last shot of liberation. Some people came back from Stutthof. This is a woman came back from Stutthof. This was a friend of my cousin, Franka Strykowska. And she told me that Franka Strykowska died in Stutthof. She committed suicide. It was typhus in camp, and she couldn't make it anymore. She knows everybody died. My sister was also in the same camp. She got a tattoo, and she was sent out probably with a boat to the sea, and the boat sank.
Do you know what happened to your? Do you know what happened to your sister?
My sister, this is what I said. My sister probably sank in a boat. What was the Germans have put a lot of women from concentration camp Stutthof to the sea, and the boat was sunk. My brother-in-law is one other bookkeeper what used to work for him told me that he was killed in concentration camp.
And
died.
who are these in the picture?
This is my sister, my brother-in-law, and this is my brother-in-law with my niece, Halina. Halina Kupfer. She was
What
in
camp
ghetto.
was your sister in? What camp was your sister in?
She was in Auschwitz and then Stutthof.
And your brother-in-law?
My brother-in-law was also through Auschwitz. I don't know which camp he later on died. The same thing, my brother, Moshe and Joshua. This, I was told that Joshua was hanged in camp, but I'm not sure it was not, while somebody else told the guards or somebody that he was a leftist, and Moshe was very weak. He couldn't make the march, so he left in camp with other prisoners in the camp, was taken to the forest and shot. The people from camp were taken to the forest and shot.
Do you know what happened to the baby?
No, she was with this baby was something else. She was in ghetto, in the age probably 10 or 11, and I saw with a cigarette. I said, Halina, 11 years old, you smoke a cigarette? She says, Uncle, say nothing. I'm 18, I don't smoke. I have just a light cigarette in case if the Germans see me. I'm too small for my age, but with a cigarette will be okay. They know parents will not buy for me cigarettes, and I wouldn't buy if I would be not. If I would be a child, I have no money. It means I work and I'm a person. Therefore, I have a cigarette. I don't smoke. I can kiss you. And she kissed me in the street to show that she's grown up and she do not smoke and have a cigarette. It was the din cigarettes, self-smoking.
Do you know if she survived?
No, she did not. I was looking for her all over. I've asked in Switzerland, I asked where it was just a register, no sign of her.
Okay, and this next picture that's going to come up, can you tell me who this is?
Again, Joshua Strykowski. This was the husband of my mommy's sister. And during the First War, he was in Germany. He was a soldier or something like this, and he sent us a picture. And this is a picture from Germany, I think from 1916.
And what happened to him?
He in ghetto died. He was a heavy man, a tall man, a heavy man, 6 feet at least, in here of pounds, 250 pounds. Also a cabinet maker. He fell in love to my aunt while he worked for my grandpa.
How did he die?
I know he died for hunger, something like this, lungs and so on. This is the sister of my mommy.
What's her name?
Rivka. Rivka Strykowska, born Rivka Dynaburski. Oh, she was a nice lady.
And what
she sing beautiful.
Oh. What happened to her?
She also was killed, I think, September the 7th. When my mommy died, she was also killed.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in the places where the people from September, oh, this is a brother, the civilian, the one civilian. This is my daddy's brother.
Which one is he?
Mikhail, this is from World War I. The smallest person here, in a regular dress, not in a uniform. He was an engineer electric, and he was a translator, French, Germany, Polish, and Russia.
Where was this picture taken?
This was taken in our camp where he was translating for electricians from different armies.
Which camp?
This was in Austria, in Austria during World War I. For prisoners different prisoners from different armies.
What happened to your brothers?
My brothers Joshua and Moses died in March, probably. What people were telling me in concentration camps. I don't know the name of the camps.
And Jacob, did you already tell me about him?
Jacob was in Russia, as I was saying. He was in Siberia. And I don't know, it was again a miracle, really a miracle, while people from Poland have to have special papers there from Poland. I mean, he got a prescription, a Polish prescription. He says, this is my ID. Not a prescription, an analyzer. He got analyzed from blood and urine by himself and kept this. I said, analyze or something like this. He says, okay, go. I don't know. Anyway, he came back to Poland right after the war, where not many Jews make it.
Is he the only one besides you who survived?
This is the only one, yeah. But he was not long in Poland. He went right away to Israel.
Oh, I see.
He went to Israel with his wife.
Can you tell me about this
Here.
picture?
Here in the round head. Here I'm a staff sergeant. I have already a cross in another medal. This is the Warsaw Ghetto, April 1946. This is the view of Warsaw. Warsaw was destroyed 97%. Somebody says 80%. The ghetto is all Jewish soldiers from the Lodz region. We got I don't know how we got a truck. We went to the Warsaw Ghetto to honor the heroes from Warsaw Ghetto.
What was your role in the army?
I was quartermaster in the Central School of for Officers. I was a low-ranking officer.
And did you get married?
Lieutenant and captain.
Okay. And did you get married?
I was married in June the 6th, 1946.
And your wife's name?
My wife was Mirska, the last name, Maya, the first name. She died 1964, at the age of 37, diabetic.
Can you spell her maiden name for me?
Mirski. Mirski.
Was she in a concentration camp?
No, she was in Russia. She was a baby when the war came out. She was, I think, 13 years old, 12 years old.
Okay.
She was born 1927, 1939. She was 12 years old, right? 1927, April.
Here's another picture. Can you tell me
Yes,
about
this
this
is,
one?
you can read, Bluma Dobra Zelman, straight where the little baby, Halina, hold the hand on. My wife, Maya, from the right side, is on the headstone where my daddy's name is, my two brothers, my brother-in-law, my sister, and Halina. The same names I have in JCC here in Bellevue.
So,
But not Bellevue.
were these headstones made?
This headstone is made right after the war. I couldn't afford the more, so I have made this so I can afford it this time.
Okay.
This is my wife. God rest in peace, Maya. This is taken a month before she died. We were ready to go to Israel. This is a picture when I received the honor citizenship of the city of Lodz with other people from the underground. We were 7 persons, 4 men and 3 women in the city of Lodz. This is the president of the city.
When you left the Jewish army, what did you do for work?
It's not a Jewish army.
Oh, it's not just a regular. That's right.
No.
Just a regular army. What did you do for work?
I work in co-op. First of all, I work in the ministerium, the secretary of coal mining and energy until 1956, when the big anti-Semitism started. I was just a few months before in Russia, and I seen what communism is all about. I came back, my wife in spasm started to cry to her parents, no more to Russia, even for a visit. We will not go anymore. I really got a plan maybe to study there, something like this, but we came back very fast. I was with my wife and children, so we came very fast and we resigned from the story.
What was the Polish government like at that time when you were there?
It was still changing between Gomulka and Bierut. Bierut was died, but it was still a fight in the government. And to cover up the story, Jews are guilty, Jewish people. So we left a lot of Jewish people in different government jobs were laid off or asked to go. And we organized the first Jewish co-op after the war. And I work in a co-op.
What was the Jewish community like at that time?
The Jewish community was all in Poland. I don't know. It was in Dzierżoniów in Schlesien, in the part what Poland received from Germany, or Poland have taken on Russia's request. Apart from Germany, in other cities, there were small Jewish societies in the account of 20,000 and so on. Comparing in Poland before the war was 3.5 million Jews, and after the war was 20,000, 25,000 Jews.
Did you try to leave Poland at any time before the time you actually did?
Yes, I tried. After I returned from Russia in 1956, I decided to leave Poland as fast as I can. And I haven't got anybody but in the United States or abroad to get to these countries. And for reason of health, I couldn't go to Israel. I was a person with high blood pressure, and I still have. So I have to watch myself. I cannot be where it's hot and so on. So I apply to somebody else, and they made me invitation to the United States, and then didn't let me go. I was refused several times. Even somebody in the United States sent me tickets. So I have not to take anything from the Polish government. Tickets ready, the tickets are here, I have them still, and they refuse me, and all the time I've shown here there's a paper where the Polish police, the police department would handle visas to let the country refuse me, and I have this paper here.
Can you identify what's on the screen now?
Yeah, this is tickets for me and my children to leave Poland. Mr. Zelman is on tickets to Orbis, to the Polish government transportation, like railroads and boats and so on.
Okay, what is this?
This is from the Polish Ministerium for Inner Affairs. It's police and so on, refuse. It says this is the last time when you have to apply, and we refuse definitively. You will not leave the country.
Okay. Do you know why you were refused?
I don't know really. This was for them while I was a person that can say something about Russia and so on. They try to press me to say something. I refuse. So I was punished in different means what is hard to believe. And I tried to get out, and they says no. But it was family problems also, so I couldn't go out. Somebody was all the time in the way to not let me go.
Who are these people that prevented you from leaving that you're talking about, and how were you punished?
There were some people in the party, not party, but still was fighting for keeping Jews still in Poland. Not to let the world know that something is wrong. At the same time, when Spain and other countries, even Spain and French, have invited officially 400 persons to take in, 500,000 and so on, Poland refused to let out. And when I officially start to go, they've taken away my citizenship, and I got a one-way paper, travel paper, not to return to Poland anymore. So they've taken, my kids were crying why we were not against the government, we have done nothing wrong. In our age, 18 or 21 or 20, and myself, I was in the Polish army, so on. They take away the citizenship. And we were not alone, all Jew. Just a Jew would like to leave Poland, not. In the same time, Chicago got a lot of Polish immigrants going through with all the belongings.
You mentioned that you were punished. Why were you punished?
For trying to leave the country, for trying to, all the time.
And what did they do to you? And who did it?
I lost my job right away. When you apply, this is right away, they cannot trust you anymore, and you have to leave the job.
What year was that?
This was the last time was 1968.
And you said you were punished by, you lost your job, is that what you said?
Yeah, the job was right away. The time when you apply officially, you are leaving the country, you cannot stay anymore on job.
Okay. And how did you come to the United States?
I went to Vienna. I've taken relief to go to Israel. So you get up as a country what Russia and Poland and everybody lost. This is from Vienna. When I came to Vienna, I came to the police to enroll as a citizen, not a citizen, as an immigrant, officially not to be accounted as a spy or something like this. I've given my name, my children's name, birthday, and so on, and I wait for a visa. The American consulate in Poland, the embassy in Poland, have given me advance the visa, but not in hand. It says if I would be caught on the border with this paper, somebody else will be sent out, a spy or some. So you better go in the American embassy. In any place where you go, we'll have your visa. But tell us where you go. I told him that I will go to Vienna.
You said you mentioned your children. We haven't talked about those yet. Talked about them yet.
Yeah.
How?
I have one daughter, Gabriela, named after my daddy.
And they were born. They were born in
She
Poland.
she was born in January 13, the same day with my mommy. 40 years later, January. Oh, there's my daughter, Halina, in the left side, with the two children, Gregor and Konrad. And from the right side is Gabriela with Ellie, and her daughter is not in the picture, Sharon Meyer. The daughter is the name of my wife.
What is this?
This is document podróży. This is, in Russia I can read you, Polskaya Narodna Republika, in French also, République Populaire de Pologne. Document podróży, this is titre de voyage, just a paper to leave the country, one way. Zelman, Marian, 19/8/1919, birthday, stay in City Lodge, in living place Warsaw. This is, here I got a big problem. They asked me why, what kind of criminal I was. The government have taken away the citizenship, let me go without citizenship. I said this is the style for letting go a Jew, taking away the citizenship. This is the immigration, the United States in New York, June 25, 1968.
How did you feel about when you saw this stamp?
Which stamp?
This stamp on your passport.
This stamp? I was for a few minutes the Pope. I kissed the dirt in New York City. I got right away the green card. I was entitled right away without this paper to go to Canada. I came to New York, from New York to Buffalo. In the weekend, I was in Toronto. It was a big party for me, from people that know me.
Why did you come to Seattle?
This accidentally, I was a volunteer. I helped another Russian immigrant, a lady that lost her job in Buffalo, and I drove her the 2,850 miles to Seattle to find a job.
What year was
that?
And
I was unemployed in this time in Buffalo. I applied here for a job to have my unemployment, and I was hired.
Wow.
So I went home to Buffalo. I took my belongings. I sent partial by train. That took me a long time to accomplish this. I was in April, the first time in Seattle. The second time I came Labor Day. Not whole 3 days I made from Buffalo to Seattle, 2,850 miles. From September the 2nd, 1977, till September the 5th, I was in my working place in Bellevue.
I need you to do me a favor and roll up your sleeves so that we can see your tattoo.
Yes, I will, without money. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, the camera can see. Wait. Oh, sharp. Now you can read. Yes. B6839.
It's B6839?
Correct.
And it's upside down.
Yes, while to read, they will not go from my side. This is made this way so the soldier can look over it, not grieving me.
Okay, I have one more question to ask
Yes.
you. Mr. Zelman, what would you like to tell future generations after having survived the Holocaust?
This is the one and only reason that I attend college, to know a little bit better English and to go to kids around where as possible to tell them the truth, the story, what Jews suffered, especially to people who say they never happened. People who will say in my present never happened, I hope I will take him to the court and we will take money from them to go and I will show him the concentration camps in Poland. But I visit some place where they've brought September 7 people from the ghetto and buried them, even not dead. The people around have shown us places where the earth have moved after the people were burned. They were in the earth covered up with dirt. It still were alive, some people.
Mr. Zelman, thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope the people will listen and have a witness. I don't know how long I will be around. I'll be glad to show them all the evidence I have. Thank you.